Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'm Scott Singer, along with Robbie Clyburn tonight, as we're here at Weinman Stadium for the first region game of the season for both Cass and Cartersville, and it should be a fantastic contest. Close to 10,000 people streaming into the stadium tonight, and we have a packed house, beautiful weather, and a great game ahead of us.
We sure do, Scott. These teams last year played one of the most remarkable football games I think I've ever seen. And fortunately for Cartersville, they came out on top. And I know the Cass Colonels think that tonight's their night. They're real happy with the start they've had this year. They come into the game with a great record, one of the best players in the state. And we're in for a great game of football tonight.
All right, Robbie, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the captains will be making their way onto the field here at Weinman Stadium for the kickoff of the first region contest between both of these schools and what should be one fantastic evening of high school football. We'll take a quick break and be back. You're watching the Workhorse Productions High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'm Scott Singer, along with Robbie Clyburn, as the captains are on their way to the midfield stripe. The head referee for tonight's game is Dexter Odom, one of the better in the business. The umpire is David Worst. The linesman is Spencer Smith. The line judge is Sammy Long. The back judge is Dudley White. The field judge is Travis Muhammad. And the clock operator up here is Patrick Bell. We're going to send it down to the field with Dexter Odom, and he has the call for the coin toss.
All right, Jeff. Shake hands, introduce yourself. Oh, all right, gentlemen, David Worst is your umpire. Okay, you guys have been elected your captains. I want to treat it like that. I want you to come up here and listen to me. When we have problems or issues, you control your team and help us, okay? All right, you're the visiting team. I have a coin here. That's tails, that's heads. I want you to call it 4 or flip it. I'm going to toss it in the air, and I'm going to catch it. If I drop it, we're going to flip it over again, okay?
Tails.
Tails. Tails he called. Tails it is. You won the toss. Would you like to kick, receive, defend, to go, or defer?
We're going to defer.
Defer. White has won the toss, and they will defer. You want to receive.
And there you have it. So the Hurricanes will get the football, Robbie. Obviously, probably what they wanted. Get the offense on the field, get something going. They'd like a start, much like they had earlier in the year at Buford when they marched right down the field. The Hurricanes getting their final instructions in the alley right now, and they're just about ready to come through the smoke here at Weinman Stadium. And here comes head coach Frank Barden and the rest of the Purple Hurricanes, wearing all purple tonight, the gold helmets, purple pants, purple shirts. Cass on the other side of the field in all white this evening with the gold helmets, and both teams ready for action. It is a huge game. It's a huge rivalry game, but most importantly, it's the first region contest of the year.
It is that, and both these teams have a really good outlook for their chances in the region this year. And first region game of the year after a week off for both teams. They should both be very well prepared for this game tonight, Scott. And you talked about the weather earlier. We had the weather system move through yesterday with some rain. It's cleared up nicely, and it's probably about 75 degrees now. It's supposed to be about 66 or 65 by the time the game ends tonight. It's a wonderful early fall night for football.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better night of weather. It rained yesterday. No rain in the forecast this evening. And we're ready for a great night of football as the Cass Colonels come through their banner in the north end zone, and the Hurricanes will break their banner in just a second in the south end zone, and we're just about ready to get it underway here from Weinman Stadium, the region opener for both teams, and it couldn't have come on a prettier night for football and at a better time of the year. We've been through 3 weeks of non-region play, and now it's time to lace it up for the ones that count. The true regular season starts this evening. Both teams 0-0 in region play, and they'll get it underway tonight as the Hurricanes break through their banner here at Weinman Stadium, and we're ready to get things underway. The Hurricanes will receive the kick. They'll put their offense on the field first, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we have two of the best players in the state in Richard Samuel for Cass and Donovan Tate for Cartersville. And Donovan's going to bring the Kane offense on the field first, so we'll get to see him up under center. But Richard Samuel also plays linebacker for the Colonels, and he goes both ways, and he does a lot of things for Cass. But those two leaders for both their squads are going to have a lot to do with the outcome of this game tonight.
I believe this is the 44th meeting between the two schools. I know the Georgia High School Historians Association has it at the 40th game, but I believe there have been 4 other games in the series. Cartersville leads the series 40-4, and Cass looking to break that streak right now. Cartersville has not lost this game since the 1997 season when they lost at Earl Cunningham Stadium, and this group of seniors does not want to go out having a loss to Cass. They have won it 3 years in a row for the Colonels. They're going to try to break the streak tonight. They got very close a year ago. One of the, as you said earlier, one of the more exciting games we've probably ever done. And the Hurricanes allowed a touchdown late in the game and then turned around, scored, sent it to overtime, and then won the thing in overtime. The Colonels undefeated this year, 3-0 on the season. One game may not have been considered an official game because they only played one quarter, but they still were up 28-0. And the Colonels have yet to be scored on this season, so the Hurricane offense will take the field. But it's safe to say this is the best competition the Colonels have seen thus far. A short end-over-end kick will be fielded at the 22-yard line by Spooner. He's across the 25. The ball's on the ground at the 27, and the Colonels say they have the football, and they do. So Cass takes over with the first mistake of the evening on the Hurricane return team, and Cass takes over with excellent field position on the Hurricane 27-yard line.
Very unfortunate for Cartersville. Richard Spooner and Elijah Martinez came up together to receive the kickoff, and Spooner took it, and he hadn't made but probably 2 or 3 yards upfield when he was hit by one of the Cass players, and the ball came loose, and Cass recovered on the 26-yard line. So an early break for the Colonels.
So the Colonels will bring it up to the line. They will work from the 27-yard line, and this time they'll hand off around the left end. Actually, Sims will keep it himself as he rolls out, has some room to run, crosses the 15, and is going to be wrestled out of bounds right at the 15-yard line. That'll be enough for a Colonel first down, and they will move the sticks. So a huge break for the Colonels early, and they're taking advantage of it.
Well, nice play fake by Sims. He made a great fake to Samuel. Of course, Cartersville, knowing how much of a factor Richard Samuel is, they pretty much bid on the fake, and then Sims kept the ball around the end and made one good move on the Cartersville defender and ended up picking up nice yardage down the sidelines.
So the Colonels will bring it up to the line. They will work from the 16-yard line. Be 1st and 10. They'll run with that offset eye. Richard Samuel dots it. They hand it to him right up the middle. He's across the 13 down to the 12-yard line. A gain of about 3 on first down. Brings up 2nd and about 7 now for the Colonels with 11:31 to go here in the opening quarter.
That was a touchdown saving tackle by Tyler Blackwell, the Cartersville Hurricanes. He made a great open field tackle on Richard Samuel, or he definitely would have scored. There was nobody between Tyler Blackwell and the goal line. Nice job by Tyler on the tackle.
Ball sits at the Hurricane 12-yard line. Sims will go under center, out of the eye. Again, Samuel dots it, and this time, play action. They roll out. Sims fires to the flat, has a receiver at the 10, at the 5, and he'll be wrestled down. The ball is loose, and the Hurricanes have fallen on it. And they will blow the ball dead out of bounds at the 7, maybe the 9-yard line. Just inside the 9 is where they'll blow that one dead. It'll be a gain of about 3 on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd and about 4 now for the Colonel offense.
Very close call there, Scott. The ball was rolling towards the sideline, and a couple of Hurricanes recovered, but the ref right on the spot called it. The ball hit the sideline stripe before they made full recovery, so the Colonels retained possession. Very good break for them on that call, or otherwise Cartersville would have dodged a bullet by recovering a fumble of their own. Looks like they've called a timeout.
Cass has called a timeout. Big play coming up here on 3rd and 3, and Coach Casco wants to talk things over with his offense. We'll take a break as well. 10:59 to go here in the opening quarter. No score from Weinman Stadium. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. You're watching the high school football game of the week. 3rd and 3 the call. Working from the near hash mark, the Colonels will jump off sides, and a huge mistake right there will make it 3rd and 8.
Very big mistake by the Colonels. They were going with an unbalanced line. They only had one man to the right of the center. The rest of the line was stacked far to the left. And unfortunately for the Cass football team, the right guard there jumped offside, and it was a 5-yard penalty for against Cass. And so that brings up a 3rd and long now instead of 3rd and short for the Colonels.
So after the timeout, a big mistake for the Colonels. They'll be penalized 5. And that will set up, as you said, 3rd and 8 instead of 3rd and 3. And now could be a passing situation. The Colonels give it this time to Samuel around the left end as he's hit hard right at the line of scrimmage for very little gain. And it'll bring up 4th down, and now the Colonels are going to have to make a decision offensively. And give it a short field from the 27. Not what Cass wanted to have happen.
Well, they sent Richard Samuel in motion and snapped it and handed it to him while he was running along the parallel to the line of scrimmage. And as he tried to round the end, Francis Duncan just tripped him up for no gain, and it's 4th and 8 or 9, and they're going for it. No, excuse me, the field goal unit's on.
So Gabe Flores will come in to attempt what would be a 30-yard field goal. The snap is down, the kick is on the way. It gets up, and it is good, and Cass has grabbed a 3-0 advantage with 10:19 to play here in the opening quarter. The Colonels lead at 3-0. We'll take a quick break and come back with the kickoff. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. You're watching the Fellowship of Christian Athletes high school football game of the week. I'm Scott Singer along with Robbie Clyburn, bringing you all the play-by-play action tonight from Weinman Stadium, and what started out to be one fantastic start here. Cass recovers a fumble on the opening kickoff, comes up with 3, but gives Cass 3 points. They get a victory there, but Cartersville, I think, got the bigger victory when their defense gained a little confidence knowing that they can shut down this Colonel offense.
That was a great stand by the Cartersville defense to hold Cass to only 3 points after the unfortunate turnover.
So the kick this time, a high floating kick, and it'll be over the head of Martinez, goes into the end zone, and the Hurricanes will get it at their own 20, which I think they would gladly take at this point.
Well, a nice kick by the kicker, number 8, Flores, for Cass, deep into the end zone. Cartersville start out on their own 20-yard line. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Cartersville does tonight. The offense has shown some signs of brilliance and some signs of lackluster, so it'll be interesting to see if they've got everything squared away tonight.
Well, Donovan Tate will go under center. They'll bring the tight end to the right side of the formation. This time they drop back to pass, throw to the flat, and Hurricanes come away with a reception and a first down. That time Morgan Alexander picks up 10 on the pitch and catch, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
Nice little quick out pass to Morgan. He was lined up as a wide receiver on that play, and I think they're going to call him out of bounds short of the first down around the 28.5, 29-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot it on the 28, but it's a good start for Donovan. We've talked a little bit 2 weeks ago about how when Donovan gets his feet set early and he starts getting in a rhythm, he does a little bit better, and that was kind of a good confidence-building pass to start the game.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They will work from their own 28.5-yard line. 10-12 to go here in the opening quarter. Tate goes under center, and this time he runs the option down the line, keeps it himself, pitches it to Alexander, who gets caught in the backfield and is going to get dropped for a huge loss. Very well defensed that time by the Colonels defensively, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long now for the Canes.
Well, that play didn't fool anybody on the Cass side of the ball. Excellent job to string out the option by Donovan, and when he pitched it to Morgan, there was a Cass defender right in his face, and I think Cartersville actually got kind of a very good spot that time. I don't really think he was necessarily going backwards. I thought they pretty much tackled him where he caught the ball, but they spotted on the 23-yard line. It's going to bring 3rd and 7 for Cartersville.
Timmy Baker split wide to the right side of the formation. Jarvis McAfee to the left. Canes will work out of an eye this time as Alexander dots it. Tate under center, and this time under play action. He drops back, throws to the flat, has a receiver in Baker, and it's incomplete. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and the Hurricanes are going to be forced to punt.
Little high pass that time by Donovan. He had Timmy Baker out on the flat, but that's an awful long pass from the near hash all the way to the far sidelines. But 3 and out for Cartersville, and Georgie Russell comes on to do the punting duties. So a nice job that time by the Colonel defense, especially on the short second down play, to force a long 3rd down that was incomplete. So Cass is going to get the ball back. 3 minutes and, that's 9 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the quarter.
So Georgie Russell comes in to kick this one away, back at his own 12. The Colonels come after him, and he gets a high floating kick. She'll be fielded at the 45. It'll take a Hurricane roll inside the 40 down to the Colonel 39-yard line, and that's where the Colonels will take over 1st and 10.
Good kick that time by Georgie. Had some good pressure coming from the outside, and the up back for Cartersville, number 2, Francis Duncan, made a nice block to prevent a blocked punt. So Cass will take over 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Well, Cartersville defended Richard Samuel very well on that first set of downs, and I'm sure they're going to see a lot of number 22, and they've got another shot right here.
So Sims goes under center, this time hands off right up the middle, and Samuel is hit after a short gain. He'll get across the 40 out to about the 42-yard line, maybe the 43 with forward progress. It'll be a gain of 4 on first down, brings up 2nd and 6.
Good hole up front by the Cass Colonels offensive line, and Richard Samuel looked like he kind of tripped up over somebody. I don't really know who made the tackle that time, but he was close to breaking a big one there because he had a really nice hole.
2nd and 6 to call as the Colonels will break the huddle. They'll bring it up to the line. Split out wide to the right side of the formation. This time they'll give it to Samuel around the left end, who gets hit and knocked down right at the yard marker. Richard Samuel with a powerful run that time, gets 6 yards and has the first down.
Well, Corey Pass for the Colonels was out blocking John Jansen, and wasn't able to get him out of the way enough for Richard Samuel to get around him, and I think they're going to credit the yardage gain there, just enough to get the first down for Richard. So 2 carries and 10 yards on his last 2 carries right there for a first down.
1st and 10 from the Colonel 49-yard line. Out of the eye, Smith split wide to the near side of the field. The ball's on the ground, and Sims is going to get hit. He'll roll out and get tackled for about a 3 or 4 yard loss on the play as the Hurricane defense tightens up a little bit.
I think the center snapped the ball before Sims was ready, and he was lucky he was able to pick that one up. He definitely didn't look like he was ready to take the snap, but all of a sudden he had it at his feet and he was able to scoop it up, and as he tried to get some yardage, he lost a couple. But another dodge bullet there by the Cass Colonels. That ball was on the turf, and Cartersville just couldn't come up with it.
So the Colonels will break the huddle. They'll bring it up to the line. They'll work from the 46-yard line, their own 46, 2nd and 13 the call, as Sims will go under center. This time with a split backfield, and he gives it to Samuel, who gets hit right at the line of scrimmage and gets dropped for no gain on the play. Might have even lost a yard as a plethora of purple jerseys are in on the tackle. We heard so much about these two offenses coming into tonight's game, and so far it has been a defensive battle.
Well, another nice job by Cartersville stacking up Richard Samuel at the point of contact there. And like you said, he either got no gain or a slight loss. Brings up a 3rd and long. Nice job of gang tackling by the Cartersville Hurricanes. And it's interesting to see if they're going to be able to pick up a first down. You mentioned it's been a defensive struggle so far. And last year early on, Richard Samuel I think he had well over 100 yards in the first half. So he's definitely off to a slower start this year.
Out of the shotgun comes Sims. They'll go 4 wide receivers. He drops back to pass, now under some pressure. Throws to the flat, has a receiver at the midfield stripe, and the Hurricanes will drop him for a gain of about 4 on the play. And that time, the ball into the hands of Corey Pass. He'll gain 4, maybe 5 on the play, and it'll bring up 4th and long.
Nice tackling out there on the flat by Byron Hall after the completion to hold him to just the short gain. So it brings up 4th down and 9. And number 17 back to receive is Morgan Alexander, and we know he's Mr. Excitement. You never know what can happen, and hopefully he can get a great return here to put the Canes in good field position.
Well, the Colonels split 2 backs wide to the left side of the formation on the punt. Sims gets it, sends this one end over end. It will take a Colonel roll down inside the 5 to the 2-yard line, and that's where the Colonels will blow it dead. And great play that time on special teams by the Colonels to pin the Canes deep.
Nice roll on the punt that time, and like you said, special teams make a difference in close ball games. Punting, kicking, returning kicks, and defending on the returning kicks. And that time, the Cass Colonels pinned Cartersville deep in their own territory, so they're going to be starting 1st and 10 from the 2 or 3 yard line. Looks like they're going to call it the 3-yard line. Field position right now is definitely favoring the Cass Colonels, as Cartersville's been deep in their territory on both possessions. See if they can get a drive sustained here.
The Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They'll work with one back, actually an I backfield. The wide receiver split wide to the left side of the formation. They hand off right up the middle, and pushing his way forward that time
it was Morgan, I believe.
Morgan Alexander on the carry.
Morgan right up the middle that time, no dancing around, straight up the middle of the offensive line, right between the center and the guard, and he got about 3 or 4 yards. Give him a little bit more room off the line of, out of the end zone. Morgan was actually deep in the end zone on that ball snap, so they've got a little bit more room to work with now.
A 5-yard carry, actually. They spot that one at the 7, so it'll bring up 2nd and a long 5 as Tate goes under center, out of the eye, wide receiver to each side, and this time he hands off again to Alexander, who's looking for the corner, gets there, dives over one would-be tackler and gets out to the 10. A pickup of 3 that time, and Hurricanes will face 3rd and short.
Good job of the Cass Colonels to string out the defense there and keep Morgan Alexander from turning the corner. Morgan hurdled one defender and was able to get about an extra 1.5 yards, but it's still 3rd down and about, looks like about 4 yards now for the first down. Choice here to go with maybe a short down and out or something, possibly the option didn't work too well last time, but Donovan hasn't run a quarterback draw yet. It'll be interesting to see if he runs that play on this particular spot of the field.
Well, the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. Again, they'll work out of the eye. In at fullback for the Canes now is Nicholas Richards, and this time they'll hand off right up the middle to Alexander, who gets to the corner. He's got some room. He's across the 20 out to the 23-yard line, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks, a pickup of 13 on 3rd and short.
Nice job that time by Morgan Alexander going to his right to get out around the side, cut the corner and get around the end, and picked up first down yardage for Cartersville. We know how fast Morgan is. He's one of the fastest players in the state. And once he gets close to the corner, he can usually get 8 or 10 yards just by coming around the corner, and that's exactly what he did there. Good job of tackling downfield by the Colonels on that play to stop him from possibly picking up a huge gain.
3:34 to go here in the opening quarter. The Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They'll work from the 23-yard line. This time they'll go with one back, a wing to the left side of the formation, under play action. Tate rolls out, has some time. Now he's going to keep it himself, and Donovan's across the 35, the 40, and out to the 42-yard line, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
There's that quarterback keeper I mentioned. That time Donovan rolled to his left. He had Elger Martinez wide open in the center of the field, but he had more room to run, and easily picked up first down yardage and then some. Cartersville's going to have the ball 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line. Nice pickup that time by Donovan. He's so dangerous. He can do so many things, and he's just such a talented runner that it's really hard to defend him.
18 yards on the carry that time for Donovan Tate. And the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They'll run with 2 wide receivers to the right side of the formation. They pitch it off this time to Alexander, who cuts back across the grain. He's across the midfield stripe, spins off one would-be tackler, and it's going to be very near first down yardage to pick up a 10 on first down.
Good tackle that time by number 22, Richard Samuel. We're going to call his name a lot tonight, but he stopped, made a good stop with Morgan Alexander in the middle of the field after Morgan picked up a first down of his own.
1st and 10 the call. The Hurricanes will work from the Colonel 47-yard line.
Good sustained drive so far by Cartersville into Cass territory.
Donovan Tate will go under center. Wing to the left side of the formation is Jarvis McAfee. Spooner the tight end to the right side. This time they'll hand off up the middle, and Alexander breaks a 1 tackle, gets outside, is across the 30, the 20, and is going to be wrestled down at the 19-yard line, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks again. Another huge gain. That time it goes almost 30 yards, 29 on the carry for Morgan Alexander, and he started this drive in negative territory. Now he's got 54 yards on 6 carries.
Well, it's kind of hard to see the numbers on those Cass jerseys with the light gold on white, but I'm pretty sure that was Richard Samuel that hit Morgan in the backfield, and he just couldn't wrap him up. And once he got away from Richard, he had open field running, and he picked up a nice gain for the Cartersville Hurricanes. 1st and 10 from the 20.
So the Hurricanes will work out of a split backfield. Out of the shotgun goes Tate, wing to the left side of the formation, and this time Tate will keep it on the option down the line. He's looking for a block, gets it right there, steps inside at the 15-yard line and gets knocked out of bounds, and the penalty flag's coming out for a late hit, and that was just plain stupid on the far side of the field. A blatant hit right with it through the elbow, right to the forehead, and not a smart move on the Cass sideline. And
no, that was their quarterback, Blake Sims, and you would expect a little bit more thought from their leader, quarterback and free safety. But he took a cheap shot there after Donovan was trotting down the sidelines well out of bounds. He kind of gave him a forearm shiver right in front of the ref, too. The ref didn't even hesitate to reach for the flag. So that's going to be half the distance to the goal.
And an automatic first down.
Half the distance to go, first down.
So there's the call. Half the distance, going to put Cartersville first and goal on about the 8.5-yard line.
The call there by Dexter Odom, the head referee.
And you said he's one of the best in the business.
He really is. He has been, I've seen, he did his 300th game about, I think in the 99 season.
300 back in 99?
Yeah, he's done a lot of high school football in his time. And I really have never seen a controversial game with him involved. Now, hey, knock on wood, we still got plenty of time to go here.
Oh,
Hurricanes lose the football at the line of scrimmage, and Cass says they have it. We'll see what the call is, and they do. So a huge turnover. The second one of the night here for the Hurricanes, and that time probably would cost them points. 1:32 to go here, and the Hurricanes turn it over. Their second of the game, and that one hurt Cartersville in a position to put some points on the board. And now Cass will get the football deep in their own territory.
Well, very, very unfortunate mistake by Cartersville. I don't know if there was a little bit of a miscommunication there that time between Adam Thomas and Donovan Tate, but it almost looked like Donovan wasn't ready for the snap because either that or he just took his eye off the ball completely because it looked like he was moving before he ever had the ball.
This time the Colonels will bring it up to the line. Blake Sims goes under center. Out of a wing tee set this time. One back in the backfield, Brian Owens, and this time they keep it around the left end. Sims with the football, gets across the 15, out to the 20, and out near the 25-yard line.
Great tackle that time by Francis Duncan.
Gain of 16 yards on the play for Blake Sims.
He saved a touchdown. Nice fake that time to the up back, and Sims took it around the end, and that's the first time we've seen him hit some open territory, but he's extremely fast as well, and a nice tackle that time to save probably a touchdown. Byron Hall might have had a shot at him if he had gotten past that tackler, but 1st and 10 on about the 23 or 4-yard line.
Coach Casco's done a great job of developing Blake Sims in his first year here. This time he drops back under play action. Here comes the rush. He avoids it and gets dropped in the backfield. He avoided the first wave of tacklers, but the second got him back at the 17-yard line. That'll be a loss of 7 on the play.
Great pressure by Zori Murphy and Tyler Blackwell, and I think they're probably going to credit Martinez with the sack, but Zori Murphy was in so fast that Sims had to step up into the pocket, and like you said, he initially avoided the two primary rushers, but he couldn't get away from Martinez, so it's a loss of about 7 or 8 on the play. Zori Murphy heads to the sideline.
And the Colonels will bring it up to the line. They'll work with a wing T set. Samuels lines up on the left side, and this time they run the option down the line to him. He gets hit in the backfield and dropped back at the 15-yard line. And that time it'll be a loss of about 3 or 4 on the play. And I will say one negative thing about Richard Samuel. He's a fantastic running back, but he does run very high, and the Hurricanes are really taking advantage of that tonight, getting under the legs and knocking him down. And
well, he's a tall runner, and he runs a very upright style, as you said. He reminded me the first time I saw him play of the great running back from SMU, played for the Rams, Eric Dickerson. Couldn't think of his name for a moment. Very similar running style to Eric Dickerson, and he does run upright, but he does bring himself up for short tackles. But a great defense that time by Cartersville. The first quarter is over, and we'll start the second quarter with a long third down play coming for Cass.
And welcome back to Fellowship of Christian Athletes High School Football Game of the Week. You're watching it here from Weinman Stadium tonight, the opening region game for both teams. Cass leading at 3-0 at the end of one as we get ready to start the second quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes, WBHF Radio, Terry Reed Automotive, Cartersville Outlet, Wynn Pontiac GMC, Slopes Barbecue, Major Motors, Beef O'Brady's, North Metro Technical College, the Stiles Collision Center, and United States Industrial Supply. And again, without their support, high school football would not be possible over the airwaves. Check us out every Tuesday night on Channel 25 and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Blake Sims out of the shotgun, drops back to pass. Now he's going to take off running. He's got a lane. Canes will try to close on it, but not before he gets the first down and more. Sims is loose, gets across the midfield stripe and out into Cartersville territory at the 46-yard line, and a huge pickup that time by Sims, and the Colonels have new life.
Great job, individual effort by Sims. Drop back to pass, got some good pressure coming up the middle by Cartersville, and he just danced to the outside and got some good blocking from his wide receivers as he headed downfield. And fortunately for Cartersville, Tyler Blackwell was able to tackle him from behind, or he'd have been all the way down for 6. But that took the ball across midfield down to the Cartersville 43-yard line. 1st and 10 for Cass.
Well, the Colonels will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye. Sims will go under center. Smith split out wide to the right side of the formation. Corey pass to the left side, and a penalty flag comes out, and we'll see what the call is.
I didn't see movement. That's usually where it is.
Into that ball, we have encroachment on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
Well, little helpful penalty there for Cartersville standpoint. Back up Cass 5 yards, put them on about the 47 or 48-yard line. The key to sustaining long drives, as you know, Scott, completing those third down chances, and that's exactly what Sims did on that previous play. And it's going to be interesting to see if Cartersville Hurricanes can stop them here at midfield.
1st and 15, the call. This time they'll hand off to Samuel, who tries to get around the left end. He's got some room to run, and he'll be tackled just across the 40-yard line. A gain of about 8 on the play that time for Richard Samuel.
Seems like every time Richard comes around the end, he gets 8 or 10 yards. It doesn't look like he's going that far, but he's moving at such a great clip, and he's got that long stride. And I think they're going to give him about almost 10 yards on that, 9 or 10 yards. So nice pickup to get back the penalty yardage and then a little bit extra. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6. I think they're going to mark it on about the 39-yard line. Nice carry by Richard.
Colonels will work from the near hash mark. They'll go out of the eye. Sims goes under center, wide receiver to each side. This pro eye set, and they hand off to Samuels up the middle, who pushes his way across the 35 down to about the 34-yard line. He's going to be very near a Colonel first down. It'll be about a yard short. It'll bring up 3rd and short now for the Colonel offense.
They might have to measure this one. We'll see after they spot it down. They're going to count him about half a yard short. No measurement required. On that particular carry, it looked like Richard just jumped over the line of scrimmage, and he was almost 6 yards downfield. 3rd and short now for Cass from the Cartersville 34-yard line.
So the Colonels will bring it up to the line. 3rd and short to call. They'll line up out of a wing tee set again. Keep your eyes on Sims. He goes under center, and this time he hands off to keeps it himself rather, fakes to the fullback, and the Hurricane defense was all over it. They read it perfectly and threw him back to the 39-yard line. They'll give him forward progress to the 37. It'll be a loss of 3 on the play, and that sets up 4th down.
4th down now for Cass. Great job by Zori Murphy on the Cartersville defensive end. Broke through, and early on it looks like Cartersville's been doing some good job in the film room, because it's almost like they've, as soon as they see these plays start out, they're reading it out. And the Colonels still have to execute, even though they've got a great running back and a very quick quarterback. But Cartersville read that play very well, and Zori Murphy threw Sims for a loss. Brings up 4th and about 4, and Cass is going for it.
4th and 4 the call. The Hurricanes will get back defensively. Colonels out of the eye. This time Sims will keep it himself on play action. He rolls out, throws to the flat, has a receiver. He'll pick it right off the turf at the 25, the 20, and inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line that time. Goes number 23, Brian Owens, and just like that, the Colonels have a huge pickup.
Well, I mentioned it earlier, 3rd down conversions, and here is a 4th down conversion to keep the drive alive. Nice play fake to Richard Samuel, and Sims rolled out and covered actually he was defended very well, but he had a man wide open over for a short little dump pass, and once he made the reception, he was heading downfield, and good tackling downfield by the Canes at the 11-yard line, or about the 14-yard line, to save a touchdown.
Well, the Colonels will bring it up to the line. They'll work out of the wing tee. This time they send Samuel in motion, and they give it to the fullback Owens up the middle, and he gets a yard or 2 on the carry. It'll bring up 2nd and long now for the Colonels offensively.
Good job by the middle of the defensive front 4 by Cartersville. Officials timeout for some type of discussion. He's talking to the Cartersville captain, John Jansen. Can't imagine what that discussion's about. I don't know if he heard some trash talking possibly or something out there, but he immediately called time and went right to the Cartersville captain to discuss something. He knows the level of intensity of this game, and if there was trash talking, he doesn't want it getting out of hand. 2nd down and 8 for Cass.
Colonels will line up out of the eye, and this time they pitch it off to Samuels around the left end. He's looking for the corner, and he's going to be tackled right at the 10-yard line, a gain of maybe a yard on the play.
Flag on the field. The near side line judge threw the flag. I saw a Cartersville player jump. I don't know if he was drawn offsides, but it's probably going to be either an offsides on Cartersville or motion by Colonels. Here comes the call. Illegal, looked like illegal motion and a holding call. Couldn't hear the ref very well.
The Canes will take the
larger of the two.
He'll tell us what's going to happen right now. I think he's talking it over with John Jansen, but the Hurricanes, the options are they take 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, or they take 10 from the point of the foul, which is the foul incurred about 2 yards into the onto the Hurricane side of the ball, so they'll take the holding penalty, which will move them back 8. And they'll replay 2nd down. We'll get Dexter Odom with the call in just a second here.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the end of the run, replay 2nd down.
There you have it.
So that brings up a 2nd down and about 18 from the 20. Good job that time by stringing out the defense, though, even though there was a holding call. They tackled Richard Samuel for virtually no gain.
Out of the shotgun comes Sims. He drops back to pass, throws it to the flat, has a receiver at the 20. He'll break a tackle and stay on his feet down to the 15-yard line. That time, Brian Owens, the ball carrier. Owens, good extra effort right there, kept his feet moving.
Nice open field tackle by John Jansen by Cartersville. We talked about John a lot in the first game. We'll talk about him a lot the rest of the year. 3-year starter for Cartersville. Great linebacker. He's got a terrific eye for the ball. He always seems to be near it, if not on it, and always makes things happen. And Cass is going to call us their 2nd time out of the half.
So on 3rd and 11 with 7:11 to play here in the first half, Coach Casco wants to talk things over with his squad. We'll be right back after this. You're watching the High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. 7:11 to go here in the first half, and the Colonels are knocking on the door. 3rd and 11. And this time they drop back to pass, and we got penalty flags right at the line of scrimmage, and we'll see what the call is.
I didn't see anybody moving, but Carson was pointing towards Cass.
During the dead ball period, we have a false start on the offense, 5 yards from previous spot.
So that'll back the Colonels up 5, and they will replay 3rd down. So now it's 3rd and 16.
2 costly penalties here down in the red zone by Cass after moving down the field. So now another crucial 3rd down conversion opportunity for Cass, and now it's even longer than it was. So see what they come up with here. Sims back to the huddle after talking to Coach Casco. They've been successful so far.
So Sims will bring him up to the line. 3rd and long the call. They'll split Corey pass wide to the left side of the formation. Now send him in motion, bring Twins to the right side. The Hurricanes shift defensively, and now we got another penalty flag. I believe this is going to be delay a game or movement.
Well, Richard Samuel went in motion, but he went in motion backwards, and I thought that was legal.
No flag.
That's their way.
We have a timeout. White before.
Okay.
So they have a timeout
Must have been
call
close
on
to
the
a
field.
delay of game.
So with 7:06 to go here in the first half, Cass leading it 3-0. You're watching the High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. 7:06 to play here in the first half. And so far it has been a defensive struggle. We'll see what the Colonels have in store here. They'll work from just inside the Hurricane 20-yard line. There you see Coach Casco after the timeout. That is Cass's final timeout here in the first half. And Sims will go under center. He sends Samuels in motion. He rolls out, looking for him down the sideline. Has some room to run. Now turns upfield, and the Hurricanes will bring him down at the 20-yard line. And Cartersville will face 4th and long now on the defensive side of the ball. And the Colonels may have to bring the kick team in. We'll see if this is in the range now of Flores. Flores hit from 30 yards earlier, and it looked like he had plenty of room.
Well, it was another great open field tackle by John Jansen. He was in the middle of the field, and when Sims tucked and started running, it was a foot race to see who was going to get to the corner. And John tackled him for about a no gain. Looks like where they're going to mark it. I guess he was pretty far in the backfield before he started upfield, because I thought he got about 4 or 5 yards. But 4th down and long for Cass, and they're going for it again.
4th and 15. They'll bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye. Sims goes under center, twins to the left side of the formation. He drops back this time under play action. They run the Statue of Liberty around the right end looking for the corner, and the Hurricanes are there to meet him shy of the first down at the 11-yard line, and the Hurricanes will take over on downs. A great defensive stand there for the purple and gold. And let me tell you, we heard so much about these offenses coming into tonight's game. It's been all defense.
It sure has. A great job on 4th down that time. Not exactly a trick play per se, but a nice little misdirection with the end around. And he got one good block on the corner, but he couldn't stop Byron Hall from running him out of bounds well short of the first down. So Cartersville takes over on downs, and the defense is hearing it from this Cartersville side of the stadium, giving them a standing ovation as they come off the field. So
Cartersville has won the defensive battle so far, but they are not winning the field position battle. Cass has got full control of that and probably time of possession as well. And now the Hurricanes don't like what they see. They'll call a timeout.
Well, the ref dropped the flag. I don't know if he realized he was calling timeout. I think he was thinking it was motion. Listen to the call.
4th down, we got illegal substitution against purple.
Illegal substitution. I saw number 67 for Cartersville, Chad Pinkard, running out late. I don't know whether we had too many men in the huddle or what the actual degree or where they called the illegal substitution, but whether it was too late after they had broken the huddle. But Donovan Tate knew there was a problem and tried to call timeout, but the ref had already made the decision to call the illegal substitution. So that backs Cartersville up 5 yards to about the 6-yard line. Got a chance to talk things over. Cass has used all 3 of their timeouts, and Cartersville, this is their first one, so they're now backed way up into their own territory. They're going to have to go 96 yards if they're going to score a touchdown here with 5 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the first half. You mentioned the great defense by both teams so far, but the field position has definitely favored Cass. Every time Cartersville had a chance back here on this drive by Cass to keep them deep in Cartersville territory, they got a 3rd down or a 4th down conversion and ended up turning it over on downs deep in Cartersville territory. So Cartersville comes back after the timeout, 1st down and long for the Canes.
Well, 5:53 to play here in the first half, and the Hurricanes will face a 1st and 15 deep in their own territory. They'll work from their own 6-yard line. And we'll see what the Canes have in store here. This time they give it right up the middle, and Donovan Tate is out across the 15 out to the 19-yard line. And that's a gain of 13 on 1st down, and the Hurricanes will face 2nd and short.
Donovan's such a strong runner. He got hit right at the line of scrimmage, but broke the tackle and came right up the middle. Nice big gain by Cartersville on 1st down. If Richard Samuel hadn't been in the middle of the field fast enough to tackle him, he would have probably gone 96 yards for a touchdown, but Richard is extremely fast and made a nice tackle to save what probably would have been a Cartersville touchdown.
Well, Donovan Tate will come out of the shotgun, a wide receiver to each side, one back in the backfield. That's Alexander, and he keeps it himself. Morgan looking for the corner, steps across the 20 and bulls his way across the 25-yard line. He's got the 1st down and a couple more. That one was good for 6 yards on the carry, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks.
Out of bounds, stops the clock with 5 minutes and 6 seconds to go. Nice job by Cartersville in their first 2 plays to pick up the 1st down after the penalty. Cartersville's out to about the 25-yard line. Brings up 1st down and 10 for the Canes. good start to the drive.
So the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to work with one back in the backfield. Out of the shotgun goes Donovan Tate. Timmy Baker split wide to the near side of your screen. He drops back to pass. Tate wide open at the 30, turns upfield at the 35, and I believe he's got enough for the first down. It'll be 10 yards on the pitch and catch. We'll see where the spot is.
Nice throw and catch that time by Donovan and Timmy Baker. And I think they're going to give him first down yardage. Yes, they are, just outside the 35-yard line.
That play developed nicely for the Hurricanes offensively. 4:41 to go here in the first half.
You can really see Richard Samuel's speed. He came from a kind of a stand-up outside defensive end spot to make that tackle or to assist on that tackle.
McAfee split wide to the near side of your screen, and this time Tate on the broken play steps inside and breaks a tackle out to the 40-yard line, a gain of 5 that time by Donovan Tate. He now has 39 yards on 4 carries.
Kind of a high snap. Donovan did a good job of corralling it after it bounced up in the air. Followed his guard or tackle there right to the right-hand side of the line. And once again, we call Richard Samuel's name assisting on the tackle. He seems like he's in on every play. He's going to take a breather, as a matter of fact, so Samuel's off the field now for Cass.
A lot of Colonels go 2 ways, and he's one of them. Rarely leaves the field. This time Alexander keeps it, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, steps inside, switches hands, and goes out of bounds right at the 40-yard line. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Stops the clock again. 3:49 to go. Not much happening there that time for Morgan. Good penetration that time by the defensive line by Cass to kind of bump him back after the handoff, and as he tried to dance around the right-hand side of the line, the defensive backs and safeties for Cass were having none of that, and they bumped him out of bounds for no gain or a loss of a yard. Brings up 3rd down and 5 or 6. They're going to count it 6 from the 39 for Cartersville.
Colonels are getting great work from their defensive ends, Crane and Mays on both sides. They're both doing a great job of containing the Hurricane speed. Cartersville drops back, throws across the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. That time intended for Timmy Baker, and if he threads that one through the needle, Baker was gone for 6. It'll bring up 4th down, and Cartersville's going to punt this one away with 3:45 to play here in the first half.
Very close call that time. Donovan Tate, fortunate, I believe, number 9 for Cass, DJ Hines, their outside linebacker, almost picked that one off. But as you said, if he had threaded that needle, nobody was going to touch Timmy Baker because he had already gotten behind all the Cass players. But fortunately for the Cartersville Hurricanes, it wasn't picked off, and now Georgie Russell's in to punt on 4th down.
So Russell steps in. He'll be kicking this one back at his own 27-yard line is where he stands. Snap is back to him. They come after it, and they get a hold of it. Ball's on the ground. The Hurricanes will fall on it at the 25, or the Colonels will rather, and Cass takes over. And that was a great call by the Cass coaching staff. They almost got one earlier, and they come back again. So
yeah,
2 turnovers and a huge special teams play have been the difference in this game. Special teams really the difference in the game right now, and Cass has an opportunity to make something of this one right now with 3:37 to go here in the first half.
Well, another opportunity for this Cartersville defense to step up and shut them down, but they've been on the field a long time, so we'll see if they're up to the task.
They'll start from the Cartersville 25. They give it to Richard Samuel, who gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. He'll fall forward for a couple yards. It'll set up 2nd and about 7.
On the previous play, you mentioned that on the block punt, they almost got the first punt by Georgie Russell, and this time they came with 2 rushers, and the up back was only able to pick one of them up, and the other one made a nice block of the punt. And I believe Georgie might have recovered the ball, but it was obviously on 4th down. It didn't matter who got it. It was the Cass Colonels ball. And first down for Cass, back to Richard Samuel for about a 3 or 4 yard gain. 2nd down and about 7 for Cass.
So the Colonels trying to get something going. They'll work with a wing T set this time, and they hand off right up the middle. And that time the fullback, Owens, carries the ball inside the 20 down to about the 15-yard line. Going to be very near first down. We'll see where the spot is. Actually, they're going to spot him shy of the first down at the, looks like the 17-yard line is where they'll whistle him down. It'll bring up 3rd and about 3 maybe. Maybe, actually less than that, 3rd and 1. Clock continues to run inside 2.5 minutes to play here in the first half. Cass leading it 3-0 on the Terry Reid scoreboard.
Official called a timeout for some type of equipment on number 8, Tyler Blackwell. Back to running clock. Cass comes up to the line, 3rd and very short.
Colonels bring it up to the line. They're going to work from the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short. And this time they hand off to Samuel, who gets the first down and more as he pushes his way inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. And that'll be good enough for a Colonel first down.
Good old-fashioned right, student body right to the right-hand side of the line. He had his up back leading the way, and Samuel just followed him right through the middle of the line, and quick gain of about 8 or 9 yards again for Richard Samuel. 1st and goal inside the 10. Looks like they're going to mark it on the 8-yard line for Cass. Cartersville Hurricane defense with their backs to the goal line with fresh set of downs for Cass. We'll see who wins this battle.
So the Colonels bring it up to the line. It'll be 1st and goal from the 8. Sims goes under center. Samuel in the wing on the left side. And this time they pitch it around the left end. And we got a penalty flag on the field.
Looked like number 13 for Cass. At least that looks like a 13. I don't see a 13 on our sheet, but the wide receiver on the left-hand side of the line definitely.
4th snap, false start on the offense.
So there you go.
Definitely another movement on the Colonels, and unfortunately for Cass, they've kind of shot themselves in the foot with penalties every time they've gotten down here in the red zone, and bumps them back another 5 yards. As a defense, you'll take everything the other team will give you, and that helps Cartersville, but I'm sure Coach Casco is not happy with the execution of his football team down inside the red zone right now. Backs them up to about the 13-yard line. 1st and goal from the 13.
So the Colonels bring it up to the line. 1st and goal the call. We're inside a minute and a half to play here in the first half. Cass brings it up to the line out of the wing tee. They send Samuel in motion. This time they drop back, throw it to the corner of the end zone. Ball's up and caught for 6. And just like that, the Colonels are on the scoreboard. The ball caught that time by
I can't
number 81, Henry Shepard, and that'll be a 13-yard completion for a score. And just like that, the Colonels have grabbed a 9-0 advantage.
What a great little fade route that time by Sims, and looked like Byron Hall was back there defensively, but as you said, number 81, Henry Shepard, went up and out jumped him for the ball and made a great catch for the touchdown.
So coming on to attempt the extra point now, Flores. The snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and it's no good. It goes wide right, and with 1:19 to play here in the first half, the Hurricanes will get their offense on the field. Cass grabs a 9-0 advantage. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. 1:19 to play here in the first half, and Cass has grabbed a 9-0 advantage. And Cartersville an opportunity to get the ball back right here.
Well, Cartersville hasn't executed their 2-minute offense this year as well as they did last year, but the experience level of the quarterback obviously is part of that factor. But Cartersville now has a minute and almost 20 seconds to try to get something on the board. And it'd be interesting to see if that missed PAT comes back to haunt Cass.
Flores with the kick. It'll be end over end. Francis Duncan will pick it up at the 25. Breaks a tackle, gets outside. Got a room across the midfield stripe and into Cass territory. And just like that, the Hurricanes will start with good field position. Their best of the night so far.
Well, unfortunately, they're going to mark him stepping out of bounds way back on about the 43. Agree with you, Scott. I thought he had made it past midfield. They're going to mark him on the 43 or 44-yard line, Cartersville 44-yard line. So that's where the Canes will take over with about a minute and 14 to go in the first half. But it's still a good field position start for the Cartersville Hurricanes, probably their best field position of the night.
Cartersville works from their own 43-yard line. They'll run with 2 backs in the backfield. Charles Chisholm comes into the game now with Morgan Alexander back there as well. He drops back out. Canes throw down the middle of the field. Spooner just can't hang on to it at the midfield stripe, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Pass was just a hair high, and I think Spooner felt the linebacker coming, and he knew if he had really stretched out to catch it, he might have gotten his bell rung pretty significantly, and he didn't pull it down, but pass was there initially. I think if Donovan had put a little bit more zip on it instead of lofting it, might have been completed. Brings up 2nd down and 10 now for Cartersville.
Well, the Hurricanes will work from their own 43-yard line. 2nd and 10 the call, and this time Tate will keep it himself as he spins through some would-be tacklers and gets across the 45 out to the 46-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3 on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 7.
Straight quarterback draw that time by Donovan.
And we got a timeout call by the Canes. That is their 2nd timeout of the half. We'll take a quick break as well. 1 minute to play here, first half. Cass 9, Cartersville nothing. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. 1 minute to play here in the first half. The Hurricanes looking for something right here. 3rd and 7 will be the call here as Tate will come out of the shotgun. Morgan Alexander this time lines up in the slot, and this time Tate drops back to pass. Under some pressure, rolls out. He's going to turn the corner, steps inside, crosses the midfield stripe, and has the first down up at the 46-yard line of Cass. If he doesn't have it, he's going to be very, very close. I believe he does have the first down. He'll get the spot, I think.
If they put it on the 46, it's a first down by about a foot.
And they're going to give it to him?
Give it to him. Excellent. Good job by Donovan that time. Rolled out to pass. Timmy Baker was who he was looking at, but Timmy was very well covered by the Cass defender, and so Donovan decided to tuck it and run. Made a nice little inside move on one defender. Was able to pick up the first down, get out of bounds, which stopped the clock as well.
51 seconds to play here in the first half, and the Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to go twins to the left side of the formation. Baker and Alexander both split out. This time, Tate out of the shotgun. Here comes the blitz, and they pick it up. Canes throw deep down the field, and that ball's going to be incomplete. A very easy pick that time for the Colonel secondary, and they couldn't come away with it.
Well, that was
somebody ran a wrong route, or somebody threw it in the wrong place, one or the other. And
when that play started to develop, as soon as I saw Morgan Alexander come off the line, I thought it was going to be the fly pattern of Morgan as fast as he is, and Donovan took basically one step from his shotgun position and unloaded long, and I looked up and Morgan had stopped, so definitely confusion on somebody's part. But I think if Morgan had kept going, he would have definitely been closer to the ball. Unfortunately, the two defenders for Cass fought over the ball to keep it from being intercepted.
2nd and 10 the call. They'll work from the 45. This time Tate out of the shotgun. Rolls out, has some room to run. Now tucks it, steps across the 40, the 35, has the first down and more, and we're going to have a penalty flag at the end of the run, and we'll see what the call is.
Threw it right at number 55 of Cartersville. Here's the call. Illegal block in the back, or blocking the back by number 55 for Cartersville. Dylan Hale, Dylan, didn't mean to mess up your name so badly. Unfortunately, he got a call for an illegal block that time on the carry, and I believe that's a 10.
A block in the back against the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, still 2nd down.
That's what I was going to say, 10 from the spot. It looked like right at the
it cost you the first down, but not that costly, but not a drive-killing penalty, because now you're back where you were just one play ago.
36 and a half seconds to go in the first half.
Now the clock will run. 30 seconds to play here in the first half. Tate taking his time. Now he drops back to pass, has some time, looks down the field, throws it over to Baker, catches it in the middle of the field, and steps inside, and he'll be wrestled down short of the 40-yard line. A gain of about 5 on the play, but we got penalty flags all over the field. Let's see what this is.
Indication of a illegal procedure or false start against Cartersville. After that penalty, the clock restarted, which I guess I thought after a penalty it didn't restart, but Donovan definitely took his time, and now there's only 16 seconds to go in the half, and Cartersville's probably going to have to throw the ball downfield. Here comes the call.
Illegal procedure against the offense. They have 6 men on line of scrimmage. It's 5 yards from the previous spot, still 2nd down.
So now Cartersville working in the wrong direction so far.
2 consecutive penalties to slow this drive down, and unfortunately at this time of the game, the time gone on each play hurts more than the yardage just about.
Cartersville bring it up the line. 10 seconds to play here in the first half. Cartersville has got to hurry up. 6 seconds to go. Tate out of the shotgun. This will probably be the last play of the half. Tate drops back, throws it across the middle of the field. It's incomplete, and that will do it for the first half of play. And we will head to the locker room with Cass leading it 9-0 on the Terry Reed Automotive scoreboard. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll be right back with half number 2. You're watching the high school football game of the week. We'll be right back after this.
open with a medley of America the Beautiful and Hallelujah, I Love Her So, featuring trumpet soloist Ben Snyder. Then comes the number 1 hit, Hit the Road Jack, featuring James Trill and Marquis Critic on trumpet, Mark Bell and Chris Ferguson on mellophone. Drumline will be featuring Texas, the band plays What I Say. Show will close with the ever popular Georgia on My Mind. Band director is Mr. David Tice. Assistant band director is Mr. Robert Carter. Your drum major is Senior Jay Parker. Let's give a big Bartow County welcome for the Cartersville High School Purple Hurricanes marching band. Mr. Parker, is your band ready to perform? Please begin.
And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. You're watching the Fellowship of Christian Athletes High School Football Game of the Week as we get ready to start the third quarter. Cass leading it 9-0 at the half. We take a look at the scoring so far at the 10-19 mark in the first quarter. Cass got a field goal. That made it 3-0, and then later on they had a 13-yard touchdown pass from Blake Sims to Henry Shepard that would make it 9-0 with the missed PAT. And that accounts for all the scoring. Cass has done it off of turnovers, and Cartersville has shot themselves in the foot with penalties. Cass has as well offensively, but their mistakes haven't been as crucial as Cartersville's turnovers. So that's been the difference in the game, has been points off turnovers. Cartersville trailing at 9-0. They will kick it deep, play field position here in the first half, and as we say it all the time, the first couple minutes of the second half could be very, very crucial to the outcome of this game.
Well, we talked in the first half about special teams and how crucial they are, and it was two special teams miscues by the Canes that have given Cass all their points.
So Georgie Russell puts it down on the 40, gets his foot underneath it. It is an end-over-end kick. It'll be fielded at the 6 by Samuel. He stays on his feet at the 15, catches a lane and gets knocked down at the 26-yard line. And that's where Cass will start 1st and 10.
Wow, very fortunate for Cartersville. A huge hole. Very patient running that time by Richard Samuel, moving up behind his blockers. Big hole, and as he jumped through the hole with nobody in front of him, he just tripped over somebody's foot, I believe. I mean, I didn't see anybody hit him or anything, but he went down, and fortunately for Cartersville, he was upended on the 27-yard line, or he might have taken that one all the way to the house.
Well, Cass will line up out of the eye. They'll put Samuels in to dot it, and he hands off right up the middle, and Samuels just bulls his way across the 30 out to the 32-yard line. Last year, after the break, Coach Casco took his team aside and said, we're going to run it right up the gut and see if they can stop us. And last year, Cartersville couldn't. We'll see if he goes with a similar philosophy here this year.
Quick 6 yards up the middle that time by Samuel. Nice stop by number 36 for Cartersville, Joseph Williams, the junior linebacker. Sometimes when you have a running back like Richard, you want to spread it around, but I think they're going to come out here in the second half and see what he can do.
Again, out of the under center, they hand it to Samuel again, who pushes his way across the 35 out to the 36-yard line. That's going to be very near a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 1. And we'll see what.
Close enough for a measurement by that time, and they're going to bring on the change. Another run right up the middle that time of Richard Samuel.
Samuel just getting yardage by the click right there. It's going to be about a yard short, I believe. Maybe half a yard short. I don't think he's got it from where the ball is right there. And he doesn't.
Inches short. Cartersville kept Richard Samuel from breaking the big one in the first half, but he still ate up yards. Very similar on this carry, these last two carries, 5, 6, 8 yards every time he carries the ball. It seems like he just moves through the line or around the end so quickly that when it just looks like he's gotten a 3 or 4 yard gain, it ends up being 8 or 9. So 3rd and very short for Cass on their first possession of the second half.
As you said, 3rd and short the call. Sims will go under center. Again, nigh backfield. This time he hands off to the fullback on a quick dive right up the middle, and they get him on the belly for about 5 yards, and they'll move it out to the 43, and Cass will move the sticks.
Another good tackle by Joseph Williams. Easy pickup that time, give to the fullback, and good blocking up front by the offensive line of Cass. Once again this year, as in a lot of years past, Cartersville's defensive front four is not the biggest group of guys, but they're very fast and very well coached. And but when you go up against a line like Cass or Buford, like we did a few weeks ago, short yardage usually favors the bigger guys.
Again, out of the eye, and this time the hard count gets Cartersville to jump off sides. That time Brian Long goes over the top. We'll see if he was drawn, but I believe it's going to be against the Canes.
During the dead ball period, we got an encroachment on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And it was 5 against Brian Long. Second there, he's going to pull the illegal procedure out, but that was encroachment on the defense. 1st and 5 the call, 10:15 to go here in the third. Big drive here for the Colonels. They're trying to make a statement here to start the second half. Sims will go under center, out of the eye, and this time he hands off again to Samuels, and Samuels pushes his way across the midfield stripe into Cartersville territory. A gain of 6 on the play, and that should be enough for another Colonel first down.
Well, I'm sure they'll keep giving it to him as long as he can get 5 or 6 yards every time he touches the ball. Big offensive line, big running back. Right now, Cass has come out, as you said, like they did last year, starting the third quarter, just straight ahead football. See who's going to win the battle in the trenches, and right now it's favoring Cass.
Cass will come out, a wide receiver to each side. Out of the eye, and this time they keep it himself. Sims goes around the left end, pitches it at the last second, and the Hurricane defense is there to meet Samuel. That'll be a 2-yard loss on the play, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 12.
Great job that time by the defensive back, Francis Duncan, for Cartersville. As that play got strung out, John Jansen handled the pitch from the quarterback, and Francis Duncan met Mr. Samuel head on and threw him for a 2-yard loss. Great job by Cartersville defense that time on first down.
Cartersville's defense starting to become a little bit more physical this season. That was a knock on them in the Buford game, and they have really come on strong here against Rome, and tonight they've hit pretty hard as well. Twins to the right side of the formation. Tight end goes to the left, and this time Sims will drop back under play action, has some time. Throws to the flat, and the ball's incomplete. And Zori Murphy trying to get in at the quarterback, and good job blocking or holding, however you want to look at it, right on the front of the line.
I think a lot of the Cartersville fans thought he was held, but could look like the defender was either, when I saw him trying to make his move, he wasn't holding on to his jersey. He was just doing a good job with his hands of keeping Zori from penetrating. And that time the throw by Sims was a little bit low. Unfortunately for Cartersville, it was not able to be picked up by the wide receiver. He was out there close to first down yardage if he had been able to make the catch. And once again, another crucial long third down play for Cass. They've been very successful on third down tonight. We'll see if Cartersville defense can stop them and get the ball back.
3rd and 12 to call. This time Sims will come out of the shotgun. 4 wide. Samuel split to the bottom of your screen. This time he throws it over the top, has a receiver, that ball in the air, and it's going to be incomplete. That time overthrown, no flags. It'll bring up 4th down, and the Hurricane defense is held. This should be a punting situation for the Colonels.
Oh, you'd think so, and here comes the punting team. Nice job that time by the Cartersville defense. Looked like it possibly could have turned into a screen pass, but one of the linebackers was staying right with the tight end or either the running back coming out of the backfield and forced Sims to go down the field, and he just slightly overthrew his tight end down the middle of the field. Brings up 4th down.
Got to really watch for a fake at this point in the game. Coach Casco likes to gamble a lot, and there they're going to fake it, and the Hurricanes fall on the football back at the 45-yard line, and there's a good stop right there. Now you just
great call.
You just kind of tell the way they were lined up that they were trying something different.
Great call on the fake punt, and Cartersville was there to meet it. Zori Murphy got some good penetration to mess up the initial attempt to get outside by the punter, and then when he was finally tackled, he fumbled, but it didn't matter who recovered it because he needed about 15 yards for first down, and Cartersville gets a good break for their first possession of the third quarter to take over in Cass territory on the 46-yard line.
So Cartersville will bring it up to the line. They will work on their first possession of the second half from the Cass 47-yard line, and this time they'll hand off right up the middle, and Alexander pushes his way across the 45 down to about the 45 to the 44-yard line. A gain of 2 on the play should bring up 2nd and 8.
Another tackle by Richard Samuel. Wish we had a statistician because I know we've called his number probably 10 or 12 times already on tackles. He's one of the best linebackers around. He's one of the top athletes in the entire nation. According to Scout.com, the number 30 player in the country. He's already committed verbally to the University of Georgia. Great player on both sides of the ball.
Out of the shotgun comes Donovan Tate, and this time they'll give it to Alexander up the middle. He's loose across the 30, still on his feet at the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, and Alexander will go down at the goal line. The ball is loose. The Colonels say they have it, and another huge turnover by the Canes, and we'll see who's got the football.
One ref's calling Cartersville, the other was calling Cass. And it's definitely Cartersville football. Well, I shouldn't say definitely. No indication.
It's going to be a touchback, I believe.
Oh, my goodness.
So it'll be Cass football at the 20. So Cartersville with an opportunity to get back in the game on one play, and they fumble it right at the goal line.
Great strip tackle by the Cass defender as Morgan was just about to go into the end zone. Stripped him of the ball on about the 1 or 2 yard line. I guess it bounded into the end zone, and Cartersville couldn't fall on it, but Cass did for a touchback. And a huge turn of events after a great drive that time by Cartersville and a great individual run by Morgan Alexander. But once again, a fumble is going to completely change the complexion of the game. Instead of being a 3 or 2 point game after a touchdown, it's now Cass ball 1st and 10 on the 20.
So the Colonels will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll work out of the wing tee this time. Wide receiver to each side, and this time they'll run it around the left end looking for the corner, and the Hurricanes will meet the ball carrier after a short gain. That time it goes to the fullback, Brian Owens. He'll pick up 3 on the play, brings up 2nd and 7.
Well, Scott, I tell you, the stunned side of the Cartersville side of the field, the fans are just stunned after that fumble by Morgan Alexander, another miscue by the Canes. And you mentioned earlier that even though Cass has made a few errors of their own, theirs haven't been nearly as costly. And that's the second time now Cartersville's fumbled on the 3 yard line in the second quarter, now on about the 3 yard line in the third quarter.
Sims will go under center again out of the eye, and this time he hands off to Samuels, who looks for the corner, and the Hurricanes will meet him in the backfield, but now he gets outside. He's across the 40, the midfield stripe. Samuels has one man to beat. He cuts across the grain, and Richard Samuel will go the distance. That time 76 yards in for the score, and the Colonels have knocked another 6 on the board. They lead it 15-0 at the 6:50 mark here in the third quarter.
What a huge play by Richard Samuel. Looked like he was going to be trapped in the backfield. Got around the end, broke a arm tackle attempt by John Jansen at the line of scrimmage. And once he got around the end, it was a foot race, and he's an extremely fast running back, and he was able to get all the way down to about the 20-yard line before the safety, Francis Duncan, had one shot at him, but he cut inside the attempted tackle by Francis and just headed for the post. And a great individual run by Richard Samuel. And we talked earlier that he was eating up yards at 8 and 10 yards a pop, but we hadn't been able to get keep him from the long play. But unfortunately, he broke one there for Cass.
And we'll take a quick break here at the 6:50 mark in the third quarter. Cass leading at 15-0 as they will line up for the extra point. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. 6:50 to play here in the third quarter, and Cass will go for 2. This is a big call right here as they'll roll out. Sims under play action, throws it to the backside of the end zone. The ball in there for the 6, or the 2, I should say. And just like that, Cass has grabbed a 17-0 advantage on the 2-point conversion. That time it hits DJ Hines, and just like that, the Colonels have made it a 17-0 advantage.
Nice little misdirection on the 2-point attempt there by Cass, rolling to the right and stopping and throwing all the way back across the field by Sims to number 6, Corey Pass. Pick up the 2 points and make it a even 17 points now, so 2 touchdowns and a field goal can only tie it for Cartersville. But right before the break, we were talking about Richard Samuel and keeping him from making the big play, but he broke it that time in a great individual run by Richard Samuel now, and well over 100 yards after that carry for Richard. Another big game for him out of the backfield.
And the Hurricanes will get the football, but now instead of trailing it 9-0, it should have been really 9-7 as they're about to go in for 6, and that was a 14-point swing right there, and that's not what the Canes needed. Actually, a 15-point swing with a 2-point conversion. So the Hurricanes will get the football. 6:50 to play here in the first half, or in the third quarter, rather. Look out, Cass is going to come out with some type of squib onside kick. This is the time when they're going to go for the jugular right here, and they got an opportunity to gamble. They got away with something, and this is usually when Coach Casco goes to his bag of tricks after something huge has happened. He looks to double it up, as you would say. There you go, see? And he's going to come away with the onside kick and get the football.
Another great call, Mr. Singer. I tell you what, you were reading that one, and Cartersville was just backing up, and the kicker, nice little pooch kick, trickled it down just over the 10-yard mark, and he dove on it himself. Excellent execution on the onside kick that time by Cass. And
I have the other kind of headset on my head.
I'll tell you what, you must, yeah, you have the coaching staff headset from Cass. The right here, you're talking about going for the jugular, would be an outstanding opportunity for them just to throw it downfield. They've been close a couple of times on the long pass. Let's see if they don't go for possibly a long pass. Of course, just handing it off to number 22 is almost good enough.
This time the Colonels will pitch it off to Samuel, who looks for the corner, and he's going to be wrestled out of bounds. That was a great call by Coach Casco because he's already gotten away with something at the other end. Then he scored at the other end, so he's 2 touchdowns difference from where he should have been a second ago. And then what happens is he gambles a little bit, and now he has an opportunity just to throw the knockout punch. And
well, he was looking, like you said, he was looking at possibly 9 to 6 or 7, and instead turnover on the goal line, or into the end zone, I should say, by Cartersville. And 2 or 3 plays later, Richard Samuel goes 76 yards, and now they've got the ball back. And Cass really in an outstanding position to start driving some serious nails into this coffin for Cartersville.
Second and long the call, and this time Sims drops back under play action, throws it deep, has a receiver, and that one's going to be caught down at the 10, and just like that, the Colonels are knocking on the door.
Well, they didn't do it on first down. They did it on second down, and now it's first and goal for Cass.
So the Canes get back on defense, and the onside kick could lead to even more here.
What a great time to throw the long ball. Now Cartersville's really backed up. First and goal at the 10. See what Cass has on first down.
Colonels will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the eye. Sims goes under center, and this time he hands off to Samuel around the right end, who pushes his way inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. And at the 6-minute mark here in the third quarter, the Colonels are starting to eat into the clock a little bit and have taken full command of this game.
Well, 17 to nothing was a big enough hole to come out of against a defense that you haven't been very successful at scoring on. Cartersville has moved the ball at times, but the 2 fumbles inside the 5-yard line have killed 2 great scoring opportunities for Cartersville. But if Cass scores a touchdown here and goes up 24 to nothing, it's going to be really difficult for Cartersville to get 4 scores in the next 17 minutes.
5:28 to play here, third quarter. This time under center, they hand off up the middle, and Owens is hit right at the line of scrimmage and brought down for a short gain. It'll bring up third and goal.
Big play here for the Cartersville defense. They can, obviously, if they can hold them to a field goal here, 3 touchdowns would give Cartersville the lead if they were successful on all 3 PATs after the scores. Another big tackle up front by John Jansen. Senior linebacker playing a great game. But this Cartersville defense has been on the field a lot. See what Cass can do. They've been very successful, as we talked all night, on third down. Another big third down for the Colonels.
Watch your quarterback rolling out to the weak side here. He's got a lot of real estate, and now he pitches it out on the weak side to Samuel, who tries to get to the corner, and the Hurricanes come up with a nice stop there. And Elijah Martinez comes up with a great play, and you see his speed. And tell you what, Elijah Martinez is probably 145, 150 pounds dripping wet. And he took down a 200-pound back going full steam. That was a pretty good play defensively right there.
Very good defensive play that time by Martinez. When I saw him trailing Samuel, I didn't think he was going to be able to get hold of his jersey and pull him down for the tackle, but he was able to. And if he had gotten past Martinez, he would have definitely scored. And now Coach Casco has sent on number 8, Gabe Flores, for the field goal attempt. He's going to be placing it on about the 16. It's going to be a 26-yard attempt.
Flores kicking it from that left hash mark. Not a good angle. He sets it down, the snap is up, and that one is good. He splits the uprights. That makes it 20-0 with 3:55 to go here in the third. We'll take a quick break and come back with the kickoff. You're watching the Fellowship of Christian Athletes High School Football Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. 3:55 to go here in the third quarter, and the Colonels will kick it off to the Canes. Cartersville will try to get an opportunity offensively.
Well, the defense did a super job that time inside the 10-yard line to hold Cass to a field goal, which makes it a 3-possession instead of a 4-possession game, and that could, if Cartersville can get something going, it could be huge. Floors for the kick.
It'll be a high floating kick. It'll be fielded by Duncan at the 33, and he's going to be wrestled out of bounds right there. It's like a little extracurricular activity on the far side, but hard to tell from this angle. And now the Hurricanes will go to work offensively at their own 34. So,
well, the last time Cartersville had the ball, they drove all the way down the field and had a nice drive going and got the ball inside the 5-yard line, and Morgan Alexander was stripped of the ball where he looked like he was going to either be scoring a touchdown or tackled very close inside the 5. And then huge turnaround, as we've talked. Richard Samuel, 76 yards to put the game well into the hands of the Cass Colonels. And if this Colonels defense can continue to play like they've played for most of the game, Cartersville's got their work cut out for them. 1st and 10 for the Canes from the 32-yard line. The hand of Morgan Alexander coming around the right-hand side of the line. He's got a blocker out there, and he's run out of bounds on the 43-yard line, so it's going to be close to a first down for Cartersville. Looks like he might be about a yard short. Good blocking on the corner that time by the wide receiver, by number 12, Tyler Alexander, who's coming out of the backfield, I believe. It's going to bring up 2nd down in about 1 or 2.
Good call there for the Canes to get out of bounds as well. Lengthen this game. You need 3 scores. It has to be as long as possible for you. Out of the shotgun goes Tate. This time he gives it off to Chisholm around the right end, who pushes his way up to the midfield stripe, and the Hurricanes will move the sticks. That'll be enough for a first down. That's a carry of 7 yards.
He must have gone down right by the sideline. The side judge called the continuation of the clock, so he was downed inbounds. So after they place the ball and move the sticks, it's going to be running clock. So he didn't get out of bounds. First down yardage right at midfield for Cartersville. 2 quick running plays for the Canes and 2 quick first downs. And
you forget how short the high school game is compared to the college game. And, you know, we're just 15 minutes left here now. We're just inside the 3-minute mark in the 3rd quarter, right to the 3-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. The Hurricanes reverse the field here, and Morgan Alexander is going to get dropped back at the 45. And that's just the play. He's got to learn that you cannot reverse your field like that. You've just got to, you can't always break it for 6. Sometimes, you know, the play is designed to get 1 or 2 yards, or maybe not designed to do that, but that's the outcome.
Right. He's had so much success with his speed, being able to double back and get around players, but he's not going to be able to do that. And like you said, he needs to just head for the hole, and if it's not there, you know, take a 1 or 2 yard gain, because right there he lost 5 yards, brings up 2nd and 15 for Cartersville.
Out of the shotgun goes Donovan Tate, wide receiver to each side, 2 backs in the backfield. Tate drops back to pass, has time, looks downfield, has a receiver in Spooner, and it's incomplete.
Good defense that time. Number 23, the linebacker Brian Owens for Cass, looked like he might have hit Spooner before the ball got there, but no flag was thrown. He would have had a hard time holding on if he had been able to get better grip on the ball, because he got leveled by the safety as he came up to meet him. So it brings up 3rd and 15 for Cartersville. And now you've got to ask, with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, is Cartersville in 4-down territory yet?
Well, twins to the left side of the formation. Wing to the left side. Tate drops back to pass. Now he's going to turn it himself. Crosses the midfield stripe, steps inside, and he's going to get down into Cass territory, down near the first down marker. He's going to be very close. Depends on the spot. Might even need a measurement. I don't think he's got it from here, but he's going to be very, very close.
Needed to cross the 40 for the first down, but now I think Cartersville definitely go for it on 4th and a half a yard, or a yard and a half, instead of 4th and long. Good run that time by Donovan. He dropped back to pass and saw the opening up the middle, and he is fast. I tell you, he's just sneaky fast. He doesn't look like he's moving that quickly, but you just after 3 or 4 strides, he's 10, 12 yards down the field. So
huge play coming up here for the Hurricane offense. They'll bring twins to the right side of the formation. Tate will go under center. Cass loads up the line out of the eye. And now Donovan's going to call the timeout. That'll be their first used timeout here in the second half. We'll take a break as well. 1:25 to go here in the third quarter. Cass leading it 20-0 on the Terry Reid scoreboard. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. 1:25 to go here, third quarter. Hurricanes will come out of the I. 4th and 1 the call, and this is a big play coming up right here. Cass is going to load up the line. They're coming at Tate, and this time Donovan keeps it himself on the counter, and he'll push his way forward, and I believe he's going to get the forward progress. An extra effort there by Donovan Tate, who that time put the offense on his shoulders and carried it for a couple yards.
Good strong running that time by Donovan. Rolled down the line, looking for a hole, trying to make something happen. Realized that the opportunities were dwindling and went ahead and just put his head down and met a Cass defender at the line of scrimmage, but he just kept those strong legs moving and was able to get second effort all the way down to about the 38-yard line for a very, very important first down for Cartersville.
Hurricanes will bring it up to the line. They're going to work out of the I. Wide receiver to each side as Tate goes under center. Drop back to pass. Tate has time. Throws it up deep. Has a receiver in Baker. And just out of his fingertips in the end zone. And Donovan put that one on a line and had it right there in his fingertips with an opportunity to catch it and put 6 on the board, and it just didn't work out.
Very unfortunate at that time. Timmy Baker couldn't hold on to the ball. Great throw by Donovan. Excellent play fake as well. Good. Donovan dropped back, made the fake up the middle to Morgan Alexander and just put the ball on his hip and froze the Cass line of Cass defenders and had a lot of time to throw and made an excellent throw downfield. Unfortunately for Cartersville, Timmy couldn't hold on to it in the end zone. Second down and 10 on the 38-yard line. 38-yard line.
So 58 seconds to play here, third quarter. Cartersville brings it up to the line. Baker in motion to the left. 3 wide receivers set, 1 back in the backfield. Donovan drops back, rolls out. Has some room as he tucks it. Breaks a would-be tackler and takes a shot out of bounds. That's going to be 15. And they hit him about 3 yards out of bounds, and we'll get the call here from Dexter Odom.
Personal foul, the preliminary indication, very easy to see.
Quarterback's got his back to the field, and you come in and hit him, and you're going to get that every single time.
Yeah, he was a good step and a half out of bounds, and Cass defender just wanted to make sure he was definitely out of bounds, but kind of an unnecessary play that time by the defender for Cass. Gives Cartersville.
After the play, late hit out of bounds on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Another 15 yards really helps out the Cartersville drive. 1st and 10 now inside the 20. Now Cartersville's got plenty of time to get 3 touchdowns in this football game, but they
right
got
now
to
they need 1.
Eliminate the mistakes. They just got to get 1 to start with.
2 backs in the backfield, wing to the right side of the formation. Baker out wide, and this time they give it around the right end. Chisholm, the ball carrier, gets down to the 15-yard line. He'll gain about 3 on first down, brings up 2nd and 7. Clock continues to run, though, as we go inside 40 seconds. And Cartersville does have to think about game management. I know it's still third quarter, but you do, as you said, you need 3 scores, so you want this game to be as long as possible. You got to start getting to the sidelines, because when Cass gets the football, they're going to try to hold it as long as possible and eat as much of that clock as they can.
Well, that was probably the last play of the third quarter, because unless Donovan gets up the line quickly, I think he will get 1 more off. He needs to get 1 more off, I'll say that.
12 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds to go, and this time he'll drop back to pass, has some time, in trouble, throws it over the middle, and that ball incomplete, that time intended for Baker in the end zone, and I thought that was an interception land, but he got a pretty good throw on the ball that time under some pressure. And we're going to have 1 play on the clock. The ball goes incomplete, and so we will have 1 more play here in the third quarter. And
0.3 of a second to go.
I didn't like that play call. Cartersville looking for the home run here when you got plenty of time to be working down the field and do the things that are making things work for you.
Well, that time Donovan rolled out. Good coverage by the Cass Colonels, because he had a lot of time to throw, but he couldn't make anything happen. And then the defensive end from behind corralled him, and he was able to get it off before the loss. But now it's 3rd down and 7.
1 back in the backfield. Out of the shotgun goes Tate. He drops back to pass, has some time. Looks over the middle, now takes off running, and Tate's going to get outside, looking for the corner, and he's going to be brought down shy of the first down marker, and Cartersville's got to go for it on 4th down. They're in 4-down territory, down 3 scores, and with that will do it for 3 quarters of play. Cass still leading it 20-0 on the Terry Reed scoreboard. We'll be right back after this. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium. 12 minutes to go in this one. The Hurricanes have the football. It'll be 4th and 7, and they're going to need a play right here. And it can't be a field goal. They're going to have to go after some points. And unfortunately, Cartersville has had opportunity after opportunity. 2 huge scoring opportunities where one of them they turned the ball over, and I guess they turned the ball over in both of them. 2 huge scoring opportunities, plus some special teams miscues have been the difference in this game, and that's why the little things are so important on both sides of the field. Cass in the driver's seat right now, but Cartersville can take a huge chunk back right here on 4th and 7, but they're going to have to make a play right now.
4th and long for Cartersville. And we talked about the turnovers. Cartersville fumbled inside the 3 on a missed snap connection between Donovan Tate and the center, and then Morgan Alexander fumbled on another drive going into the end zone inside the 5, or actually the ball ended up in the end zone where it was recovered for a touchback. Cartersville had a fumble on the opening kickoff by the special teams and had a punt blocked by the special teams. So special teams and turnovers right now are the difference in the ball game, and Cartersville down by 3 touchdowns, start of the 4th quarter, has got to go for it on 4th and 7. And opportunity here for Cass to really shut the door on Cartersville.
Out of the shotgun goes Tate. This time he drops back to pass. He's got time, throws it over the top, has a receiver, and that ball tipped and incomplete, and it'll turn it over on downs. The Colonels will take over, and that time Tate actually had a lane right up the middle of the field if he had.
Well, he's run successfully a lot. He was standing back looking to pass the whole way, and once again a little miscommunication, or somebody ran the wrong route, or Donovan threw the wrong pass, because as soon as he let that ball go, it was apparent from our angle that Timmy Baker, who the intended receiver, wasn't going to be anywhere near the ball. And fortunately it wasn't picked off, because Cass defender actually was the only player that got his hands on the ball.
And he had a lane in front of him if he
it decided to turn upfield.
11:53 to go here in the contest. Colonels with the football out of the eye, and this time they hand off to Samuel, who gets hit and dropped in the backfield. No gain on the play. In fact, he lost a couple yards.
Good job that time by the defense.
Samuel slow to get up.
Cass has had a couple of miscues we talked about earlier, but they could definitely use a fumble down here deep inside their own territory if Cartersville wants to try to get back in this game. I'm sure Cass will probably, unless they have to throw to get a first down, I'm sure they'd like nothing more than to just grind it out, keep the ball on the ground, keep the clock running, and just get about a 7 or 8 minute drive here to put this game away. Cass faithful are real excited right now. 20-point lead with 11 minutes to go.
11 minutes to play. Blake Sims goes under center. We got a timeout call on the field, or official time call.
Must be delay a game. Yes, it
is. So that'll be 5.
There's a dead ball period. We have delay of game against the offense. 5-yard penalty, remain 2nd down.
So that'll back them up 2nd and 17. That helps the Hurricane defense a little bit. But the clock's still running, and that's the Hurricanes' biggest enemy right now.
Well,
so Cass will bring it up to the line. 11 minutes to play, just under 11 minutes. This time Sims drops back to pass, has some time, gets some good protection. The Hurricanes will come after him, and he throws it deep. Has a receiver, and it'll be incomplete.
Wow, what a throw. I don't think anybody knew Sims could throw the ball that far, including his own player.
Henry Shepard, the intended receiver. And
he had stopped running around the 45, and Sims threw it from about the goal line or the 5 all the way to the far 40. And Shepard had just completely stopped, and by the time he got running again, he didn't have a chance at catching it. Nice job of escaping the pressure that time. Zori Murphy was putting on the pressure on Sims, but he was able to get outside and unleash one. I tell you, if that young man ever starts getting his accuracy down, that was one heck of a throw. So a big third down play for Cass and the Canes defense.
One back in the backfield, and this time they drop back under play action. Sims has time, rolls out, throws to the flat, has a receiver, and it'll be caught just across the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. Might have gotten a couple more, and it'll bring up fourth down. And we got a penalty flag back at the 5-yard line. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be holding against the Colonels.
If they decline it, it'll be fourth down and about 8, which I would be surprised if they accept it, because it'd be third and long again and give that
big arm another
give
chance.
That big arm and an exciting offense a chance to pick up a first down. At that time they got about 12 yards, and if it hadn't been for the 2 penalties previously, that would have been good for a first down. But with the delay of game and, well, I guess it was just 1 penalty, delay of game and the tackle for loss, that Cass had backed themselves into a hole. And here comes the call.
On the offense, that penalty decline. That makes it fourth down.
4th and 8, as we smart call by Coach Barton to decline the penalty. Now you don't think
I don't see the
Rick
punt
Casco's
team coming on the field.
Well, he's going to let the clock run down a little bit, I think,
Yeah.
but you think they'd come on out. Here they come.
Yeah, here they come.
Too risky to not to be going for it on the 20-yard line.
I know he likes to gamble sometimes, but that would be.
It'd be kind of foolish, I think. Cartersville called a timeout. It would look like a late number 79 was trying to hustle off the field. Big number 79 Darius Mitchell, and I think Cartersville had to waste a timeout to prevent a substitution. So
That's a chance down the road that you can't stop the clock now because somebody couldn't get on the field in time, and that's almost inexcusable at this point. We're 4 weeks into the season. You got to know the personnel at that time, and that's a tough break for the Canes because that's going to cost them a big timeout. 10:16 to go here, fourth quarter. Cass leading it 20-0 on the Terry Reid scoreboard. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. 10:16 to go here in the contest. The Hurricanes are going to get the football. Morgan Alexander standing just back at his own 50-yard line, and the Colonels will do the little shift before the kick, but I think they'll be kicking this one, and they do. They get it away. It is a line drive kick out of bounds, and that'll give the Canes excellent field position out at the 32-yard line as he shanks it off. And
big shank.
That was a big play for Cartersville. It gives them an opportunity. 10 minutes to go in the game. Stranger things have happened, but Cartersville needs to focus on 1 score and not 3 scores, and that's the mentality they need to take coming into this series.
Good pressure up the middle. I thought for a second Zori Murphy was going to block that punt. I think the Cass punter, even though it was a poor punt, he did a good job of getting it off. Otherwise, if it had been blocked, it would have been probably recovered in the end zone for a touchdown because he was punting from the 5-yard line. So Cartersville takes over 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Great field position for Cartersville. See if they can put some points on the board and get back into this football game because the defense is doing their job.
Out of the shotgun goes Donovan Tate. This time he'll keep it himself. Pushes his way forward near the 30-yard line. And that's going to be a gain of about 2 on first down, but that clock continues to run, and Cartersville needs to get to the corner and get out of bounds and lengthen this game.
Good ankle tackle that time by the Cass defender, and Donovan Tate had a lot of real estate in front of him. When he first broke through the line, I thought he was going to have about a 20-yard gain, and then all of a sudden he just went down. It must have been just a super job of grabbing an ankle that time by the defender. I don't even know who got him, but it was a nice job.
9:40 to play here in the contest. 20-0 your score. Tate drops back to pass, throws it to the flat, has Timmy Baker, who steps up and pushes his way forward, and he's going to get hit, dropped back at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll bring up 3rd and long, and that clock continues to run. He didn't get out of bounds, and again, Cartersville almost their own worst enemy at this point.
Well, a little poor execution to some degree, but that play call right there, just I kind of question that one because it was thrown to the near side of the field, and Timmy Baker had 3 defenders over there and trying to make him make something happen against 3 Cass defenders, and he was only able to pick up 1.5 yards, and he didn't even get out of bounds. So under 9 minutes now for Cartersville, and 3rd and long again.
So Tate will go under center out of the I. Twins to the right side of the formation, McAfee and Baker.
They're going to, that's usually the man with the clock. Sure
May
enough.
delay a game against the Canes. That'll back them up 5.
Well, that was a quick 25 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, things are just not developing very good for the Canes right now. They just don't seem in sync. And
I didn't think the clock started till the ref placed it in position and dropped his hand, and I don't think that was 25 seconds from when he did that. I mean, this gentleman back there, back judge, has the time, so. But now Cartersville's 3rd and 12 instead of 3rd and 7. Huge play for the Canes.
Again, this is still 4-down territory.
Oh, it is.
So you don't have to get it all on this play. You can throw underneath and try something. Under some pressure. Now Tate steps inside, and he's going to get hit. And back to the old line of scrimmage. Gain of 5, and that's going to bring up 4th and about 8 now. Tate slow to get up.
Good tackle. Good hard tackle over the middle that time.
That clock just continues to run. 8:10 to go here in the contest. Cass with a commanding 20-0 lead, and the clock is the Hurricanes' worst enemy right now. They went to the locker room with a 9-0 advantage, and Cass came out with a huge drive, a huge stop, a huge turnover, and then the drive, and that has been the difference in the game. And then an onside kick led to another field goal.
Well, they're going to get another delay here, I'm afraid, because they're going to have to really snap it quick.
Tate up at the line.
He got
just
it off.
Gets it off. Drops back to pass, has some time. Steps inside. Penalty flag is down, so it's probably in the realm of holding when you have this much time. Throws it deep into the end zone, has a receiver, and it's caught for 6, but that one may be coming back. We got a penalty flag out on the 30-yard line, and we'll see what the call is.
It's probably going to be motion. That was in the vicinity. It was dropped by the line judge. An incredible job of Donovan Tate dancing around, trying to make something happen. And it is a procedure call against Cartersville. Much to the delight of the Cass faithful.
So with 7:26 to go here in the game, Cartersville had an opportunity. They'll have to replay 4th down now.
If it's not one thing, it's another for Cartersville right now. Finally make something happen. That was definitely a case of making something happen. Donovan Tate just running around, doing his best to stay behind the line of scrimmage, and he finally found Richard Spooner open in the middle of the end zone. And Richard had gotten behind the defenders, but unfortunately somebody early on had moved. Now, officials timeout. Asking Coach Barden to get off the field as he's calling his plays. You don't see that too often. Coach Barden usually takes a step or two out onto the field. Now a big 4th down and 14 for Cartersville. Cass defense can pretty much shut this game down if they hold them on this play.
Cass will be back in a prevent. They've got plenty of cushion underneath right now. Out of the shotgun goes Tate. Here comes the pressure from the backside. Tate rolls out of it, steps up, has some time, reverses his field, steps up, catches a key block.
He's open.
Throws it back the other way, has a receiver, and Spooner's at the 5, and he'll go into the end zone for 6, and the Hurricanes
there's a flag,
are on the
one.
scoreboard, but we're going to have probably a lineman downfield. Because when you reverse the field that many times and turn it around.
I think Donovan might have crossed the line of scrimmage. Nope. An illegal man downfield, as you said.
I think, does that carry a loss of down?
No, intentional grounding does, but
Okay.
I think ineligible receiver does not. Looked like Donovan could have run easily for a 1st down. As like you said earlier, they're trying to get it all back in one play. Here's the call.
Ineligible receiver downfield against the offense. Replay 4th down.
That's 2 of the craziest plays. It's hard to believe a quarterback can stand back there and run around and make that much happen, looking for somebody. And both times it was Richard Spooner, the tight end, who has been able to break free. But unfortunately for Cartersville, 2 penalties. Now, like I said, it looked like Donovan could either run for the 1st down or hit Timmy Baker over the middle for a 1st down, and all they need is a 1st down. There goes the timeout.
So Cartersville's going to call a timeout. That is their final timeout of the game, and with 7 minutes to play, 7:08 to be exact. We'll take a break. 20-0 your score. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. 7:08 to play here in the contest. Cartersville with the football. They've thrown 2 touchdown passes. Both have been called back for penalties, and now we'll have another opportunity here. Donovan Tate will be facing a 4th and looks like 20, 19. This time Tate drops back, rolls out. They got a chance here. Throws it back the other way. Tate is there, catches the football, turns upfield, breaks 1 tackle, and stays on his feet, and he's got the first down. And the gadget play pulls it off for the Canes. Coming back the other way, throwing the football was Byron Hall. Hall just got it out there. Cass could have taken it for 6 the other way, and now the Hurricanes have a new set of downs. We're inside 7 minutes to play.
I don't know who the Cass defensive back was or free safety, but I think he was reading the play the whole way, and when Byron Hall let that ball go, Donovan was wide open, but here came the Cass defender, and it looked like it went right through his hands, or he'd have had 6 the other way. But Donovan Tate gets the pass and makes the first down. Still life in the Canes after all.
1st and 10 now as Tate drops back to pass, has time, throws it over the middle, has a receiver, and it's incomplete. That time broken up by Richard Samuel.
Richards dropped back into that free safety spot, and either that or really deep as a linebacker. And Byron Hall that time lining up as a slot receiver, and unfortunately didn't complete the pass, but fortunate it wasn't picked off by Richard Samuel. Incomplete pass, stop the clock, 6.5 minutes roughly to go in the game. And Cartersville, like you said, stranger things have happened, but they've got to get a score.
Out of the shotgun goes Tate, twins to the left side, drops back to pass, has time, throws it over the middle, has a receiver. It's caught by Baker inside the 10 down to the 5. The clock will stop with 6:28 to play. Well, they reset the chains, and the Hurricane offense will go to work again.
Good job that time by Donovan, just dropping straight into the pocket, held his ground, planted his feet, and made a great strike to Timmy Baker as he came back to the ball and picked up a much-needed first down at the 5-yard line. Clock's still running after the chains have been moved.
Tate will go under center at the 5. Twins to the left side of the formation. This time pitches it off around the left end to Alexander, who works his way into the end zone for 6. And at the 6:13 mark here in the 4th quarter, the Hurricanes are finally on the scoreboard.
What an incredible drive by Cartersville. I tell you, there's a lot of emotion in that one. 2 touchdowns called back for penalties. Huge 4th down and 20. Then a great job on the gadget play from Byron Hall to Donovan. And now Cartersville's finally on the scoreboard with a very crucial PAT coming up by Georgie Russell. And once again, Cartersville having trouble getting the right number of men on the field.
So Morgan Alexander now comes onto the field late. Hurricanes get set. The snap is down. The kick is up and on the way, and it wasn't pretty, but it goes through, and that makes it 20-7. We'll take a quick break and come back with the kickoff. Georgie Russell bails his team out there.
Byron Hall, it was a great job. He bobbled the snap and was able to get it down, and Georgie got it off. So excellent job by the 2 of them.
We'll be right back with the kickoff. 6:13 to play. You're watching the Fellowship of Christian Athletes High School Football Game of the Week. Welcome back. You're watching the High School Football Game of the Week. 6:13 to play here in the contest, and Cartersville will line up. And the question now is, what will the Canes do? They're going to need something.
Well, their defense has held the last 2 times Cass has had the ball and forced them to punt. So, do they risk an onside kick, and if they don't recover, Cass has the ball at midfield, or do they kick it deep and let the defense hope to hold them and get the ball back? Last time their punter shanked one, and we got the ball on the 35-yard line. So we'll see what they do. Doesn't look like they're lining up for an onside kick, but Georgie Russell's coming up to kick from the 40.
Russell kicks this one deep. It'll send them back to the 5, and that's where the Colonels will return it from. Big tackle right up the middle, and Cass will start this drive at the 23 with 6:07 to play. Clock stops on the change of possession, and the Colonels will go to work. Now, I guarantee you they're not putting it in the air right now.
They need some first downs. So last time they ended up with 3rd and long, and they tried to pass. So it's,
they might do some run pass option, but they're
not going to pass it on 3rd and short, that's for sure. But defense wins games, defense wins championships. So here's a chance to see if Cartersville's defense can get the ball back for their offense. And 6 minutes to go in the game. 3 and out here is plenty of time for Cartersville to make something happen. But I think I know who's going to get the ball.
Sims drops back, hands it off to Samuel up the middle, and Samuel's looking for the corner. Gets to the corner, steps outside, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. That's good enough for a first down. The Colonels will move the sticks, and they'll get a new set of downs. And
fortunately, Byron Hall got him out of bounds, and I think Byron's hurt. He's kind of clutching his hand. I don't know if Richard stepped on it or if he fell on it, but looks like he's trying to shake it off and stay in the game, but he's definitely shaking up on the play. Good job that time by Samuel getting around the left end and picked up about 15 yards.
And the penalty flags are going to come off. That's going to be encroachment. That's going to be 5 against the Canes.
Good hard count by Sims, drew off the defender.
Well, see, Cass comes in. They play good, smart, hard football. They're good. They're a well-coached team. You can see it. I mean, they don't make a lot of mistakes, and that's been the difference. I don't think they have the same talent level that the Canes have. They're close, but I think Cartersville has a little more speed and a little more advantage in the athlete department. But I think the Cass has come out tonight and has made the fewer mistakes, and that's been the difference in the game.
Well, they've got one heck of an athlete in that backfield, and Sims is definitely
they may have the best athlete on the field.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good athlete, but they run it right up the middle this time, and now off to the races goes Owens, and that may be the difference in this game as he takes it down inside the 15, down to the 11-yard line, and the Colonels are knocking on the door with 5:49 to play.
Well,
Cartersville needed a quick stop, and now
they definitely needed a quick stop, and great job giving it to the up back when everybody thought Richard Samuel was going to be getting the ball, and nobody touched the fullback till he was about 50 yards down the field, and he was actually tackled from behind, or he would have scored. 1st and 10 now for Cass on the 12-yard line, and I think the Cass faithful are starting to breathe a sigh of relief.
I think that might have been the final nail here against the Canes as Cass lines up and Samuel pushes it forward. And Richard Samuel would like to put an exclamation point on this win. Personally, I think this is probably a big game for him after last year's game.
Well, he had a great individual game last year, and tons of yards, a couple of touchdowns, and almost single-handedly was able to win that game. If you remember, after one touchdown, he ran a kickoff back for a touchdown, but there was a penalty, and all those yards were subtracted from his night.
Out of the eye, they hand off to Samuel again, looking for the corner. He's going to get outside and pushes his way forward. I believe he's got the first down.
First down on the half-yard line. He almost got to the pylon. But after that big individual game last year, Cartersville ended up coming back in very unpredictable fashion to win that game. Richard being a senior, never beating Cartersville. Of course, Cass hasn't beat Cartersville in 11 years. But it looks like tonight's the night for the Cass Colonels. Come over to Wyman Stadium, and they're about to go up 26 or 27-7 with 4:45 to go in the ball game. 1st and goal on the 1-yard line for Cass.
Out of the eye, and they'll keep it. Sims keeps it himself this time, goes toward the goal line, and he's in for 6, and Cass has scored again, making it 26-7 with 4:42 to play here in the contest.
And the Cartersville faithful are heading for the exits.
So a huge touchdown run. Cass has scored on their last 3 possessions, and that has been the difference in the game. They lead it 27-7 with 4:42 to play, and that may be it. Flores will come in for the extra point, and Cass has made a statement here tonight.
Well, they capitalized on the mistakes that Cartersville's made, and they're ahead in convincing fashion right now.
Snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and it's good, and the Colonels now lead it 27-7 with 4:42 to go here in the contest. And Cass looks like they're on their way to their first region victory. In fact, this will be the first time under head coach Rick Casco, assuming they hold on, that they will be undefeated in region play.
I guess they've
every
always
year
lost
they've
to
always lost to
Cartersville.
Cartersville.
Yeah,
So this is the first time that they've done this. They'll move to 4-0.
Well, unfortunately for Cartersville, not the still the mistakes and penalties have plagued them tonight as they did in the earlier games, and I think more of the mistakes than the penalties, but Cass has taken advantage of those mistakes, and that's what good teams do. Well-coached teams and good teams take advantage of your opponent's errors, and you capitalize on them, and that's exactly what they did. And after the big touchdown run, they capitalized on an onside kick right at the start of the third quarter, and Cartersville's been playing catch-up big time ever since. And now after Cartersville finally made something happen with an incredible drive of their own, if Cartersville had held Cass 3 and out on that possession, it could have made things interesting. Instead, Cass takes it down the field for 7.
So Flores lines up, little onside kick, and that ball just dribbles down, and you've got to be kidding me. Cass is going to get the possession. The ball goes 10 yards, and Cartersville's backing away from it. So it didn't go 10 yards.
I tell you,
Cartersville got away with one there because you got two guys going to the football, and they slide away from it instead of jumping on it. And that's just, again, execution is.
Well, I'd like to see.
It's just not a smart play.
I like to see things go Cartersville's way, but I think Cass got rooked on that one. I thought the kicker did an outstanding job of letting the ball touch the 50-yard line before he dove on it, and I don't know why the far line judge came in and marked it at the 49. The near sideline judge came running up on the 50, and all it had to do was touch the chalk on the 50. So I don't really understand that call. I thought it was an outstanding job by the Cass kicker to wait for it to get 10 yards, but fortunately for Cartersville, they've got the ball back. Late substitution by Cartersville.
Tate out of the shotgun, drops back to pass, has some time, rolls out, sets up, and now takes off and runs. Tate pushes his way down near the 40-yard line. 4.5 minutes to play in the game. 28-7 your score. And, Cass lines up for that, and you can see it. They kind of squunch in the line a little bit. I mean, you can see it coming. And
it didn't look like anybody on Cartersville even went for the ball after it was dribbling down the field.
It's like they're not paying attention to what's going on. And, again, one of the bigger things we haven't talked about tonight has been Cass's defensive effort. That's been huge this evening.
Oh, it has.
Cass really has played well defensively. Done a great job, and Sean Campbell and his staff can credit that, and they're going to come away with another turnover right here, and that is going to be it.
Good catch by Timmy Baker, but as soon as he tried to turn upfield, stripped by the defensive back, and the defensive back recovered it after he caused it, and another turnover.
I think that's 4 now on Cartersville offense, and you can't turn the ball over 4 times in a big game like this and expect to come away with a victory.
4 fumbles and a block punt.
And 4 minutes to go here in the game. 27-7 your score. Cass on top of this one, and the Colonels trying to put this one away. So the Colonels will bring it up to the line, out of the eye. And this time they push it forward for a couple. That clock continues to run. We're inside 4 minutes to go in the game. Got to tip your hat to the Colonels tonight. They have come to play, and they have taken their spot atop Region 6 AAA, and they got another huge game next week.
They go to Carrollton.
They can come away with a victory there. They will be sitting in the driver's seat in the region.
Very happy for Rick Casco.
He's done a good job here tonight, and he has
pulled off a big
victory. His team has played a very, very good game this evening. 3:20 to go here in the contest, and they'll move it forward for a yard or so. And we're nearing the 3-minute mark in this game.
I think a lot of people, myself included, feel like Cass should have won that football game last year. It's kind of very improbable that Cartersville would lay down late in the game and let them score intentionally just to get the ball back, because it was the only chance Cartersville had, and then come away with a very improbable victory. And now 2 years in a row, Cass has played the best against Cartersville, and this year they're going to come away with a well-deserved victory. third down now and about 7. Sure, they're not going to throw the ball. Willing just to try to make something happen.
And they do as Sims gets loose, spins off one would-be tackler, and he is off to the races. He has one man to beat. He's going to turn the corner, and Blake Sims goes into the end zone for 6, and Cass now leads it 33-7, and the Colonels are pouring on the points.
What a great run by Sims. Third down and 7, a little fake to the up back, which had been the previous 2 plays. Committed to linebackers, and he stepped around the right end of the offensive line, and the rest was on his own. Made a couple of really good moves down the field. This young man's only a sophomore. Cass looks like they're going to be in good hands at the quarterback spot for the next 2 years. He's a very good runner. He's done a good job of running the offense, and we talked about his arm. He obviously is inexperienced using it, but as he gets more mature and starts working on his pass patterns, I think he has a chance to be a very good throwing quarterback as well, because he's definitely got a rocket of an arm.
So the Colonels will come in to attempt the extra point, leading at 33-7, and they are going to put this one to bed. Snap is down, the kick is up and on the way, and it's good. 34-7 your score, 2:21 to go. We'll take a quick break, come back with the kickoff. You're watching the high school football game of the week, brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back. 2:21 to play here in the game, 34-7 your score, and the Colonels will get ready to kick it off again. They're going to onside kick again right here. Actually, this time they're gonna kick it around the 30. They can kick it over here in no man's land in the 30 and the 20. You see the hole right there. Let it bounce. There you go, kicking it to Alexander. He turns upfield. Morgan steps up and gets knocked and hit across the 40 out to about the 43-yard line. And that's where the Canes will take over. 2:13 to play here in the contest.
Well, this is the not the start that Frank Barton wanted to the 2007 region season. Still some work to be done in practice for Cartersville to eliminate the mistakes they're making, drop passes and fumbles.
There you see the football, 2:13 to play here in the contest. The second half has belonged to the Colonels. Out of the shotgun, they give it to Alexander. He's looking for the corner. He steps up. Getting outside and getting out of bounds would be the play. And there you go, you get a hit out of bounds, but no call.
Well, it's interesting. You almost could take a knee. I mean, you don't want to look like you're quitting, but you also don't want your players getting hurt. Morgan got run out of bounds right there onto the drink table. Ended up knocking it over, and he could have been injured there if his feet had come out from under him on that hard concrete. So 2nd down and 8. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 7 for Cartersville.
This time they hand off to Chisholm up the middle, who pushes his way forward, getting the first down into Cass territory.
I think that's what Coach Barton's decided to do. Just take his time, just run it up the middle. Hope nobody gets hurt late in a game like this after a hard-fought game of both sides, and then at this point where the outcome's definitely not in doubt, to have something unfortunate happen.
This time they hand off up the middle and push forward.
Well, I said earlier I was happy for Coach Rick Casco. I've gotten to know Rick a little bit over the last year. His son Ricky was their quarterback last year, and my son RB became pretty good friends, played a lot of golf together, and then Rick invited RB to play on that All-Star game early last summer, the Texas-Georgia game. So very happy for him and his staff to pull out this big victory for Cass.
And a very good win for the Cass program, probably the biggest here under Rick Casco. And Canes pushed forward for a couple, and you
Well,
got to tip your hat. I mean, they came in prepared. They executed their game plan. They got a couple breaks, but really they came to play this evening, and that was the difference in the game, and they deserve this. They've really played well, and they deserve a big victory on the road tonight. And hopefully it'll propel the Colonels for the rest of the season. They're in the driver's seat in the region right now, and
well, you said 44 years. This will be the 5th victory, so it happens about 1 out of every 10 years, and so an outstanding job by Cass.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, they've had some big wins to get in the playoffs and things like that, but this is the first big-time win this program has had under Rick Casco.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Because they haven't had a playoff victory. They've come out and they've been unable to beat the, Carrollton or Cartersville or even Cedartown when they were good. I mean, I know last year when Cedartown was one of the front runners in the region, they were unable to beat them. And this is a very, very big win for the program, and it's going to really, I think, elevate what they're doing over there. And they're doing a lot of good things offensively. And I think the biggest difference is they did a lot of great things offensively last year. They're doing a lot of great things defensively this year, and that's one of the differences. 22 seconds to play in the game, and Donovan Tate will bring him up to the line.
Face mask on the last call, and the Cass defender grabbed number 12, Tyler Alexander, around the face mask. So Cartersville's got 1st and 10. But that's probably the last play of the game, and it will be.
Cass's fans are getting ready to storm the field here at Weinman Stadium, and they do. And that will do it. Your final 34-7 as the Colonels storm the field here at Weinman Stadium, and it is pandemonium in Cassville tonight as they are celebrating the Colonels with their first victory over Cartersville since 1997. It's been 10 years, and the police force is on the field to keep things, or I guess they're ready. They're working in the end zones, and they're going to keep things.
Well, they deserve to celebrate. Cartersville celebrated on their field last year after that incredible comeback, and a lot of emotion out there. Fortunately, the Cartersville faithful know that they don't have a lot to be, they can't be complaining. Cass came in here and won the ball game, and hopefully the players will be able to congratulate each other, and Frank Barton will be able to give Rick Casco his congratulations as well. And hopefully with this crosstown rival, a lot of time there's some bad blood, but hopefully there won't be any problems tonight. And I know a lot of the Cartersville police force is here to ensure that doesn't happen. So we'll hope for the best out there. We'll be here in 3 weeks?
3 weeks we'll be back here as I guess we'll go to, I'm trying to think, that'll be Cedartown back here in 3 weeks from now. So we'll take a quick break, come back, and break it all down here from Weinman Stadium. You've been watching the high school football game of the week. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back to Weinman Stadium as the Cass faithful celebrates here at Weinman Stadium, and a well-deserved victory, the final 34-7 as the Colonels move to 4-0 in the year. More importantly, 1-0 in region play, and that is a huge victory because they go to Carrollton next week, and they come away with a win there. They're in the driver's seat in 6 AAA. I'd like to thank the sponsors for tonight's game: Sam Franklin Furniture, Sam Franklin United States Industrial Supply, Stiles Collision Center, North Metro Technical College, Beef O'Brady's, Major Motors, Slopes Barbecue, Wynn Pontiac GMC, Cartersville Outlet, Terry Reed, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and finally WBHF Radio. And again, a well-fought victory tonight for the Colonels, and they come away with a big win and deserve good congratulations because they have won a very big game on the road tonight. The final 34-7 in front of one of the biggest crowds I've seen here at Weinman Stadium, and that'll do it for this broadcast. Also like to thank the crew for tonight's game: Jason Woodside directing things back in the truck, Cheryl Kennedy on one camera, Kerry Nelson on another, Matt Callahan on the handheld, and of course Cody Reese. I'd like to thank our crew along with Robbie Clyburn saying good night from Weinman Stadium. I'm Scott Singer. We'll see you again next Friday when the Hurricanes travel down to Tyrone, Georgia to take on San Diego.